The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hello everybody and welcome back to How We Would Fix. We are angry.
Well, not really.
Nah.
He is
2 out of 3 of us are angry.
He is, maybe.
Because the show shouldn't have needed fixing, but y'all fucked it up.
Didn't it? Anyway.
It had promise.
We're fixing Build.
And angry comments go.
I'm here for it. Let's go.
So if you've seen our review of Build, you will already be aware that we fucking hate it. It's not good. So, we have a lot to fix. This might be our longest How We Would Fix.
It depends on how we end up approaching it, because I have sort of an easy fix for it.
Is it take out the villain that took up 2/3 of the show?
No. Split the show. The whole
like
military... Yeah, split the show, have the whole military portion over here, and the whole space alien portion over here. Make it 2 separate shows. And actually do something with both. Have a beginning for this, and have an actual ending for this.
When you say make them 2 separate shows, you mean make them like 2 separate arcs? Or
No.
you mean like literally 2 shows?
Two shows.
So like episode of military, episode of sci-fi.
No, just
2 shows.
Okay.
It needs to be Build 1 and 2.
See, I disagree with that because that seems like it would be confusing to an audience. I think we need to...
No, I mean just make it a whole different show.
I think we need to pick one and stick with it.
I mean, just build season 1, build season 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or not even Build. Make one Build, make the other...
You're about to say, the other one should be about fucking...
Forza.
No, I was going to say like Ryu, the secondary writer. Isn't that his name? Please.
No.
Banjo.
Ryuga Banjo was his name.
Ryuga Banjo. Make the other one about Banjo because the fucking alien plot
It was
revolved
all his.
around him anyway.
Cross Z is the writer's name.
That's right. Didn't bother remembering any of this because I thought we weren't going to talk about it for a while. Anyway, so yeah, we could absolutely do that. Build can be about the war because that makes so much more sense with his character. And make the alien thing about Banjo. Make that his show or his fucking movie. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that way you can harken back a little bit to like the original Kamen Rider where the bad guys were the one who gave the good guy his powers. Because they rebuilt Takashi.
So, yeah, absolutely. The first thing I would fix before any of that is the theme song.
Again, I didn't mind the theme songs. I'm fine with the theme song as
It just
is.
didn't... I didn't like it.
I don't like it.
How would you change it?
Something a little more energetic and...
I don't think it's necessarily energetic. I think that the singer needs to be changed.
That's fair.
Because I just don't think that her voice matched the overarching techno beat that they had going on. Because her voice was... Like, it is a good voice. I just really think it doesn't fit
No, I don't
the
think
beat
it fits
that
that
she
song.
was given.
I can see that.
It could be a more production side thing, but... Yeah.
Get the girl from who does the O's theme song.
Maki Oguro.
Yeah, I think she could kill it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it as it is, but what else would you fix? If anything immediately jumps to mind.
It's less about fixing and more about cutting and deleting. Mad Rogue, gone. Like, isn't he the second one? The who came in at the very end for no fucking reason?
Maverick?
Mad Rogue.
Oh, Mad Rogue.
Yeah.
It's not like you said Maverick.
No, Mad Rogue. Cut. Gone. Doesn't need to happen.
No, he doesn't.
If anything, you can make that a power-up form for Rogue instead. Just...
Yeah, incorporate more of the actual base suit. Like this. I like the white coloring. I do think that it looked a little snow-worthy. Like, this is a suit for the snow, because it had, like, so much padding on it.
It's the Arctic gear costume that Batman gets, despite him never going to the Arctic.
Definitely we need more character development for Grease, because...
I think...
When you say more character development...
I mean, any at all.
I think it definitely needs to be changed, because I liked the bases. I hated the Meton.
No, that's fine. Also, if we're gonna stick with like in this case, if the war arc is gonna be a whole show by itself, he's gonna need to be a villain longer. He's gonna need to be a antagonist, I should say. He's gonna need to be an antagonist a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
And get rid of Banjo's jelly form because that was stupid.
Yeah. It was unnecessary.
Or if you're going to do that, introduce it later. and then have fucking Grease get a power-up form to counter that because they're still antagonists.
So everything with Bill was in a pattern. I think I would actually get rid of the sparkling can portion. I hate those early power-ups that don't amount to anything. I really do.
They become useless way too quickly.
Yeah, especially when you have as many
even
forms.
Even 01 was guilty of this. Shining Hopper.
They worked that a little bit better into the actual plot.
By making it a base form for other power-ups? Like Shining Assault Hopper?
Which was a combination of two.
Yeah, but Shining Hopper didn't get its moment to shine.
It did get used for a while.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did. Because he actually
Assault Hopper was like 2 episodes
Regardless,
later.
let's try and pivot back to where we were. Come on.
Sorry.
Yeah, I would end up getting rid of that, especially when you have so many, various forms that you can use.
when you're being extra W, you can't have a early power-up form like that.
Yeah, WBX, yeah.
Futurino body and soul.
Yeah, and especially when we have the rabbit tank power-ups, which are like the actual mid-season power-ups.
Well, you still have Hazard because the RR and TT power
come from Hazard. Yeah, but you use Hazard once, kill a guy, keep that. Realize it's too powerful, and that's when he starts working on making RR
something
and TT.
to base it.
Yeah. So
would you give it another form?
I think he's got enough forms as it is. I don't think he needs another.
Yeah, because I was saying like Rapid and Tank. Like I understand that they're your base, but removing Sparkling, maybe give him Hawk or Gatling or something.
I don't know.
Pirate.
Comic.
R.
That would just be him doing stand-up comedy.
Ninja.
That would be the ninja.
Yeah,
to go there.
Anyway,
I don't know, but now let me ask you this: what would y'all do with the evil organization that we start with Rogue and Stalk?
Yeah,
I'm fine keeping that as it is.
Same.
But would you make their presence longer?
Here's the thing. I like how this show is split up into arcs. It really comes down to the script for me.
That's fair.
Just give it a better script. And I think you could have been a lot better. Because Build, I don't loathe it entirely. I think it's an interesting failure.
That's fair.
An interesting failure.
That is the best
hilarious.
It is.
It's ambitious. It tries new things. It does things that I think are interesting. I think it has a lot of good ideas. It just doesn't execute them well.
I mean,
frankly, I would rather see something that is an interesting failure than something that just outright is
a failure.
Okay. Follow-up question. Since we're taking in this, in our pitch, if the war arc is the whole show, or the evil organization / war arc is the whole show, who's the final villain? Who's the big bad? Because we're taking the big bad out.
One of the presidents of the other countries.
So one of the other two?
Or even still, like if you had somebody who's higher up in the organization, but not even Night Rogue and Stalk even knew who that was, that could end up being that person. But the twist on that is they have to, one, either always be there from the beginning of the show, or at least have some sort of presence.
Be there. That they have to have eyes on the situation at all times. We have to in that situation. Let's say it's I forget, but like he is the final prime minister that they go after. I think it's
who ends up turning.
I think it's Togo.
Yeah, who ends up turning to be evil the entire time.
Yeah, but like they go after him. If he's the bad guy, like have him keep tabs on Build and everyone else the entire time,
or
Dr. Claw style.
Or have it be like the person who's selling all the military like weapons and stuff to people, and he wants to keep the war going solely for profit.
He sells the guns on all three sides.
Exactly. Having the war constantly go for profit, he just wants to keep having it make money. He would be a good final boss.
PMCs.
Yeah. I feel like something like that, especially because, let's face it, that sort of happens in the real world as it is. What? It's just, I feel like that'd be a good person to have.
That's really good, actually. I was going to say whoever's above Grease, since we've already established him as an antagonist, but I like that idea better.
Well, speaking of arcs, and in this scenario, I'm keeping the show's structure as is. Don't have, or even in that one as well, don't have 2 tournament arcs back to back.
No.
Holy fuck, do not.
Don't do this.
Trash.
Either make the tournament arc longer, or just keep the one.
Garbage fire.
Tournament arcs can be fun, as we've seen in many shows.
They can absolutely
I
be
feel
fun.
like keeping it,
Usually I hate them, though.
Yeah, having it be
because they're just an excuse to drag everything on.
Very true. But having it be like from episode like 20 to maybe 27 wouldn't be a bad idea.
For a 50-episode show, I can see that.
Yeah.
Like, I would definitely
that
take...
way
you would definitely take notes.
And especially the way that it's... Because I really like the idea of the Kamen Riders, because the whole Kamen Rider fighting monsters gets abandoned pretty early on.
Yeah.
After the first arc, and then it's about riders fighting riders or fighting a Volt.
Which is pretty much the norm after nowadays.
Which, yeah, for the most part. And I really like the idea of Kamen Riders being used as proxies for the wars.
Yeah.
It's the right of single combat. I like that.
What if...
But the way they split it up really doesn't work. So I think if you either just kept it as the one, or if you were to do the lengthy one, just don't do both.
This is a spitball idea that just came to me. I'm not 100% serious with this. What if, to kind of bounce off of that, instead of it being a full-blown war of army versus army, what if that's every fight in the war, is that there is some sort of disagreement between one of these 3 nations. So in order to figure out who gets what they want, they send their Kamen Riders to each other to fight.
I feel like that would end up getting tired because we've been falling into the way the show did it.
But if you keep it in, if you confine it to like one arc, and you only do it a few times, I think it can work.
It can definitely...
Like if our heads of state meet, and it's like, okay, we have this issue, and this issue, and then we have our tournament to resolve those issues, I think that's the way you could do it.
Yeah. I'm saying... I'm not
Make it
saying
a lot
that should
more
be...
political on the back end.
It doesn't have to be
more
the
political
whole
on the
show.
back end, and also more streamlined.
More streamlined, more political, and it gives the fight much more... If we know what the stakes are, it gives the fight much more weight.
I feel like the stakes would actually end up being a little bit better if only... Well, sort of like what the show did. Only one of the nations had one, and then another got one later, and then one got one last. There's that power imbalance, so there's always somebody who's trying to catch up.
We can do that.
Yeah, that way you can have somebody
they're always trying to one up each other.
Yeah, that way you can have somebody like the reporter
who
is an actual spy, getting the secrets and everything and delivering to somebody else. Make her a little bit more unscrupulous.
That's another thing that I would fix is if you're gonna have Sawa do the whole traitor thing, don't do it one right after the other. So
Also,
close.
in that case, don't give her a side. Her side is whoever pays her more.
Make her a mercenary.
I wouldn't say a mercenary, but
I mean, pretty much like an information broker.
Yeah, an information broker is better. Is better.
A mercenary of information.
Yeah. Just that'd make a much more interesting character.
Definitely would. It would actually give her something to do.
Yeah, no shit.
Especially if she's working for Big Bad.
And I'm just tired of shows like this, and even shows here in America, just having this hero and then 20,000 people around him to make his team. Like there are too many. Then there are too many characters to keep track of. Arrow did it. Flash is doing it. Kamen Rider's doing it, and it's starting to get really irritating.
And then, like
I think it's less of a problem of too many characters, and I think again that goes back to the script.
Execution is
execution is key. If you have that many characters and you write it well, then we're not going to care.
And then
I'm just saying it's harder to write. It's harder to give every character the development they deserve when you have more.
It's hard to do it with only a few characters. Writing something in general is hard.
Yeah, that way, like at the end, we end up having to actually go against the person who owns, I guess, this military-esque corporation. For those of you who have played Yakuza 5, it's that scene where it's like the 4 of them up against like about 200 dudes. You can have that.
And then we end with a big shirtless wrestling match on a roof.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Anyway.
But yeah, you can end up having something like that where you end up having like them against the army.
Yeah, minion riders.
Yeah, it's sort of like either like the minion riders or those horseshoe crab ones from 01.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, end up having something like that as the precursor to the big battle with the Big Bad.
There are definitely some ideas we could put into that.
One thing I wouldn't mind seeing them do earlier on, maybe have a little more minions or something. Because this show, for the most part, is all singular monsters.
Yeah, I was about to
And
say, I don't remember minions in this show.
And I'm okay with that for the most part, because again, I like that they tried something different, but one of the things that is great about cannon fodder is it shows our heroes a chance to kick ass.
Like Wizard.
It lets them just, rip through some fools and show off their powers. Maybe if you're going to stick with the one monster, make the fights a little more dynamic. Have the monsters like challenge our heroes and like let them use and mix their powers up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because the whole bottle switching mechanic, I like that. So I think it would be a good idea if they just challenge them to switch it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead into my next problem. Don't make Sento a magical genius. As I lamented in our review proper.
Make it make sense.
Yes. And here's the main thing I would do to change it. Do a little more, like, show him inventing the things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Show him how he figures out things are a best match.
Show, don't tell.
Yeah, show don't tell. It's fine if you tell us a little bit. I understand you have, time and whatnot, but
we're going to treat this like math where you have to show your work.
yes, show your work, cite your sources.
Mm-hmm. Or at least,
Like when he comes up with I want to see him like figure out what makes a best match. I want to see him invent new forms as opposed to just showing up at the battle with it already there, or something like that. As happens
have
every
him
time.
with the tablet at the office, putting bottles next to each other and see what happens. Like, all right, next. Nope.
No, more than that. Like I want to see him like experiment and like actually take the bottles and like put them on and see in his head, like, okay, so pirates, they do this, and if I collect it with this, it could do this thing, and then, no, wait, time, and that's how or trains, and then I fix it up.
The only issue I have with that is that implies there would be logic as to why the best matches are best matches. Where
you could change the best matches a little bit.
I guess
for our interpretation of the show, where they're not just given to you by Misora.
Also, the logic is whatever the show says it needs to be.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't have to be 100% grounded in our real world.
I do like the whole inorganic thing. I think that's
interesting. Oh, no, that's absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what I'm just saying is, like, why is Rabbit and Tank a best match? Like, because you're combining speed with power. So, I just need that. I need that thought process.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's
I'm just saying that I
can't.
can't. I'm just saying I don't know, even from a writing perspective, there are some. I don't think there are some best matches that can be explained other than we thought it would look cool.
I really have
because explain to me Hedgehog and Fire Truck.
Chili dogs.
Fire. Chili dogs. Chili hogs. Anyway, I sort of have an idea just going off of that strictly for the movie. And this is where I think that 01 sort of comes into play, at least nowadays, because I feel like if you're going to do a movie, make it be post-show, but make it have some connection to something that actually happened in the show proper. Mm-hmm. Where, in the case of 01, it was like, it was a different type of artificial intelligence where it was done with nanobots. That was like the whole thing of the 01 movie. Make it post-show where it's like, the guy had underlings or like had an offshoot corporation who try to come in and do something like that, and maybe Sento. I'm just saying this because I want that scene from O's again, where Sento makes copies of himself using it in a comic, and each one gets a different power.
We always want that scene from the
It's
movie.
true. I want to get it. Do it. Ow.
The problem, like, O's made it so easy because they had a copying ability in canon, so it just took.
Well, you know how Toei is with their ninjas. Somebody's going to copy themselves. Ninja Red.
Interpret that as literally or figuratively as you like.
Hurricane Red. Taco doesn't exist.
That could definitely be something.
Now, that's for the military part. How will we do the alien part if we had to do
Well, before we go on to the alien part, one quick thing I would put in about the ending of the military part. The wall goes down. The world doesn't get rebooted because fuck that. The wall goes down, and it's
I have thoughts on the ending. We'll get there.
It's a bittersweet ending. The wall goes down, so now these three people who had so much power, if any of them are left, have to now figure out how this power is going to be reallocated now that they are one country.
Oh, we do have to figure out wall got there in the first place.
Fuck. Because
this is one of the reasons I'm okay with just keeping it the way it is. But
that's part of the alien arc.
You could still have it there. It could just be that could just be the catalyst.
Maybe it could be more metaphysical.
It could just be the catalyst that starts the whole thing off.
Yeah.
And then eventually at the end of the military arc, that's when you find out, oh, turns out
At the end of the show in this case.
This could be a great chance to show your work, and I've analyzed this the cube. I managed to get my hands on it, and turns out I carbon dated it, and it's from millions and millions of years ago. And
Or we keep it what it is. It is an alien artifact, and that's how it ties into the movie, or whichever the alien part, whatever we're doing.
Mm. And the alien part could just be the movie.
It could either just be the movie, or it could be the second season, or whatever, and that's how the two are connected.
Okay.
Moving on.
The alien portion.
Don't play with your food.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You really can't.
That's what he did.
You can't make your villain so powerful so quickly. So that definitely has to be scaled back and down.
Like, I don't mind him being able to snap a black hole into existence,
but that has to happen
late. Like, that has to be right before the final fight.
That has to be right before. Just like, look
he's like, he does that, and now there's a time limit to beat him before the Earth is sucked into a black hole.
We should have gone for the head.
No shit. Also, can we talk about that? No one goes for the head in these shows.
It's always the chest.
Oh, actually, that makes sense. Bigger target.
Aim small, miss small.
Bigger target. Anyway. Fuck, the alien arc is harder to deal with.
I mainly just want to talk about the ending for the alien arc.
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
We can skip right to it.
Again, I don't mind the merging of worlds. I don't mind it. I don't think it's a bad idea. And I also don't think it's a happy ending. I don't think it is. I think it's actually a pretty bleak ending when you think about what happens. If it were a happy ending, what would have happened was everyone would have come back to life and everyone would have had past memories of what would have gone on and everything, and it would have been one big happy family, but now everything is happy. Instead, it's the dead people came back, but they have no memories of what happened. Everything that they had gone through is gone. The only two people who know that are now just homeless people adrift in a world where no one knows who they are.
It could be argued that the people who died but don't remember, that's the happiest ending, because ignorance is bliss. You're saying that they have no memories of a war-torn Japan, making life bleak and miserable.
But they also have no memories of the bonds they made, or the friends or the good stuff. They have no memories of the good times. They don't have any of that.
I think I could do this differently because I hated the merging of the worlds. I thought that was the stupidest portion of this entire show.
It just seems like
I want to hear what your guys' take would be, unless you want me to tell you.
I would honestly have him spawn a black hole that's constantly moving closer.
Because he can't just spark one above his head.
No, this time he can't do that. He sparked it too far.
So we're on a time limit.
We are on a hard time limit now. But it's just, you gotta find some way to incapacitate the guy and then throw him, I don't know, maybe rocket or something, into the black hole.
How about everyone kicks him at once?
That could happen.
If Wizard did. Yeah, but say Wizard can kick somebody into the fucking sun.
Sun forever. R.P. Phoenix. Just throw him into the black hole that he created. Thus, it would end up collapsing on himself.
Mm-hmm.
It would. I feel like you could make that a theory that they could actually place in show that would end up working a little bit better.
No, the black hole is moving towards Earth, not Earth is moving towards the black hole. Yeah. Okay, good.
That way, it's just like it'll collapse on.
Otherwise, everyone's dead.
Yeah, but that's what I was gonna make sure we were avoiding.
Yeah, I feel like that would work a lot better. Yeah, we're not gonna doctor.
Unless I was gonna say wandering Earth Head.
What we're not gonna drive the Earth home. That is something that happens.
I was thinking of Wandering Earth too. Similar thing happens.
Yeah, I feel like
we strap a bunch of rockets to it and we just push it somewhere
apparently
else.
TARDIS can fly planets, but moving on.
Why not?
To be fair, Gallifrey.
Put big reins on it and go, yeah.
Well, to be fair, the Doctor is the first Time Lord.
To be fair, that was originally going to be a thing anyway. But
was it really?
Mm-hmm. Oh. We'll talk about it after. But I feel like actually throwing him into the black hole that he created so it could collapse around the cause of it would end up being a little bit more satisfying.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have to deal with, we're going to put this whole other Earth in danger.
Yeah. So.
What about you?
I kind of agree with him. That seems like a better ending to me.
Mm.
I understand what you're saying about how it's a bleak ending. The problem is the way it was presented to us in the show. Because they were fucking giddy about it. Like, it worked! Let's go live our lives! Like, everything's fine.
That doesn't happen until the very, very end, though.
I'm just talking about once they realized it worked.
But it did happen.
It did happen, but here's how I would change it. Episode 47, because there's 48 episodes, in episode 47, that's where you beat Evolved. That's where the worlds merge.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, that's when we see Sento and Banjo are now adrift in this world where no one knows who they are, and it's like, okay, well, we saved everyone, but no one's ever going to know. And then I would have, I forget the character's name, but the guy who Sento really is.
Katsuragi.
Katsuragi, but like he comes back too. And he runs into them and have him say something like, well, not too long ago I detected some sort of temporal flux and all my readings are leading straight to you two. I think we have a lot to talk about. And that's where you end episode 47. And then episode 48 is all them dealing with the consequences of what happened and acclimating to their new lives. That's what I would change. I think, because, again, I don't mind how it ended, but the fact that Sento, we get like 2 minutes of him like wandering around going, oh wow, I guess everyone's back, but they don't know me. And then Banjo shows up, yay, you're back! Oh yay, this is great! Hey, I wrote a 48 episode script about our adventures. And that was so dumb and stupid.
No, yeah, we're absolutely cutting
that. That was dumb and stupid, and I hated it. And I think if you had one episode dedicated to after that, and they acclimate to their new lives, they're able to build something new for themselves.
Build.
It's part of what the character does. Why not? I think that would be a good idea. That's what I think would work.
Like, and again, I understand what you're saying. I just don't think it would be I don't think watching them accolade to their new lives would be that entertaining from a show perspective. Would it be interesting? Absolutely.
If you write it well, it is. Anything, if you write it well, can be good.
If you're gonna do what they did, I think they need to take a book from W's playbook, or take a page from W's playbook. Don't bring back Banjo so quick. And the thing is, it never really occurred. It didn't really hit me that either of them, the type of person who would want to be recognized for what they've done, especially not Banjo. Banjo doesn't give a shit. So
that's some of the things to worry about.
It's not so much that they'd be recognized by everyone, but by their friends. So they could go back to the cafe and they could just hang out and have another barbecue on the roof, and that's not something that's in the realm of possibility for them anymore.
No, and what I'm suggesting is, instead of what's his name showing up at the end, just have it end where he goes, "I did it," and he kind of just has this moment of realization that he is now alone.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next episode is him just trying to get by. And that's when he finds Banjo. Again, you gotta pretty much do what they did with Philip. If you're gonna bring him back, don't bring him back 10 seconds later. Give him a whole episode.
Look at that Kango.
Yeah.
That was garbage.
So, just so that, again, because it feels like that he doesn't really get a chance. And, it's the same thing. He doesn't get a chance to
at least have a little bit of a time skip. Oh yeah,
time skip would be great.
Well, that's what would happen. That there would be a time skip in between episode 47 and 48 would be my idea. And it's not like the next day is what we would be.
I'm suggesting the same thing.
I didn't explain that.
I'm suggesting the same thing. What I'm saying is that after he realizes he's by himself, he still has does he still have a working belt by the end of the show or no?
I believe so, because the Cross-Z movie has to happen.
The Cross-Z movie has to happen, and he still has to show up for ZO. Or is that solved by time travel?
That's dimensional.
Wibbly wobbly.
Dimensional and
Wibbly
time
wobbly,
travel.
timey-wimey. Got it. So I would still give him a working belt. And he is still trying to be the hero because that's who he is.
Mhm.
Now, there's no monsters to fight, but there are bad guys. And then Banjo's going to come back because he's hearing these news reports of a guy in a fucking suit of armor beating up bank robbers. And then you could have, even better, this is what I thought you were going with this, which would be awesome if you did. Have what's-his-name show up. And they're not the temporal flux. He's reading the fucking box that's coming to Earth, and it's going to start all over again. So now they have to stop it. Because the world that they merged to, their timelines aren't matched up. That'd be a hell of a cliffhanger, I know, but...
So in the movie.
I don't...
Or it doesn't have to be...
Unless you're going to... I feel like that's something you'd have to introduce if you're going to resolve it.
You mean resolve it if you're going to introduce it? Sorry.
If I misspoke, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just making sure I understand what you're saying. No, and it could be a movie. It could be a third season, because apparently we're doing 2 seasons.
You could just make 2 separate shows.
We could make 2 separate shows. Again, this is our thing. Also, it could be it doesn't have to necessarily be the box. That's where I thought you were going with it, and I thought that'd be a nice twist. No. It could be the next Kamen Rider, and he's in the first episode, and he has to give his power to the next guy, but it morphs into whatever his fucking motif is. Kind of like the Zeo crystals in Power Rangers. I like the idea. I have always liked the idea of the passing of the torch. Let's make that canon. Mm-hmm. That's why I love when Sentai's end, because we see the Red Ranger scene.
Yep.
And I just like that idea of passing the torch. It reminds us that these worlds are connected. And it really helps anybody watching go, their story is done. It is time for the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and I'm going to go into a spoiler territory real quick. I just finished watching a full Let's Play of Resident Evil 8.
Don't say a word.
And there's something similar. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Thanks.
You don't know what I mean?
No, I will. I'm going to be thinking about it. And I hate you.
Anyway, my whole thing was mostly on the military portion. I didn't really care about the alien portion.
Fair enough.
Just that portion.
Just trying to be vague.
Die forever. But yeah. I think the military one is the way to go.
Fair enough.
I feel like even though it's a little bit more contained, the fact that it could be really good drama. I feel like the drama there is just like political drama all in the background. Mercenaries, the head of the military corporation who's trying to keep the whole thing going. I just feel like that's some good shit, and I'm here for it. Nicodemus,
just make that the whole show.
Nicodemus, please.
I'm
going to say that the whole show. But yeah, does anybody have anything else?
No, I think I've said my piece.
I've said my piece.
All right. Well, let us know what you think about our proposed changes to build in the comments below. Which one would you rather have? Or would you still rather keep the blend of the two and maybe just do it 1,000 times better?
Or would you not change anything?
Let us know in the comments below.
Also, follow us on all the things.
And we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.